Hi friends, I'm back with my new video. In today's video, we'll be discussing about Solace PubSub class integration. And to start with the Solace, let's understand that what is the kind of services they are providing. So as I have gone through their website, they are providing two type of thing. First is that they are providing cloud-based solution. Second is they are also providing the appliance, I would say, that which you can purchase and you can kind of it's a hardware with Solace platform. And this cloud-based solution, they are actually providing the complete solution. You can everything will be managed by the Solace team. It's just that you can use that platform as a message broker. So on a higher note, let's understand what all things they are providing as a part of Solace PubSub platform. So first of all, they are providing a cloud console, which is actually divided into three parts. First is one thing which is event streaming, which is more of like a message broker. In that you will get a mesh manager where you can geographically identify that which all area you need to cover and how you can define or design your distributed environment. You can manage your cluster. If you are using single cluster, then it's fine. If you are using multiple clusters, then definitely that thing you can manage. Second is event insight. It is more on the metric side, like how many messages are being published, consumed, what is the queue depth, what is the number of connection it is consuming, what is the message size, how many messages are pooled in the queue. And last but not the least, the event management, like you can design the whole architecture on the designer itself. Like say for example, you have multiple application and based on certain headers or based on certain logic you want to distribute the messages amongst the applications. So these kind of things you can design on the designer. Catalog, whatever the application you have defined in your designing tool, that you will be able to see as a part of catalog. And the discovery also, the few of the things you can see. And on below to that, the primary purpose is to set up a message broker. So that is the layer which is actually been kind of providing the core feature. And other third party integrations they are also providing. For the event streaming purpose, they are providing client-side libraries, open protocols, connectors, so that as per your requirement, as per your language, you can select the kind of protocol or the client libraries. So just to understand what all platforms they are supporting. So currently they are providing REST-based integration. They are providing JS support also, JavaScript, Java, Spring, Python, MQTT, JMS and JMS 1.1, the older version. Similarly, on the consumer side also, they are providing similar kind of support. In case you want to create any demo account or you want to evaluate, you can use this try now option from where you can actually create your account and you can create a kind of cluster which only support a kind of developer environment. But it would be complete real-time replica of whatever the experience you will be getting on the production side. Now from the integration perspective, they have mentioned the list of languages they are supporting. So on Solace side, some of the basic thing like JMS and Solace integration, they are providing C, C++, .NET, Java. Similarly for Spring Boot also you can use JMS. MQTT protocol, this is available for Java, JavaScript, Python. So if you see for Go, this is the only platform, or I would say this is the only protocol which supports Go. Apart from that, REST, definitely REST is universal supporter. So with Go also you can support the REST. And MQTT, other things, there are different other connectors which are available, like Amazon, RabbitMQ, Oracle database, and SAP, and so on. So we'll be primarily focus on the REST based integration, that how we can write a publisher in a REST for Go, and similarly we'll be focusing on writing a consumer using the REST, or I would say not the REST, but it is actually for RDP. So we'll be using RDP to write a consumer for Solace in Golang. So let's go to their control panel. So this is the console they are providing for the cloud. So currently I actually created one service, which is a developer class, which is that I actually create this service for under the free subscription, or I would say free tier. And here you will be able to see all the list of clusters which you have created. So I have created for education purpose TechCody, that is a cluster, and for that I have used Google Cloud GCP, and my location is Mumbai. So similarly, in case you want to create this thing, so with the very first thing you would be doing is that you need to create the account in Solace Cloud, and then you can click on this plus button, and post that you can see that whether you want to use this for a developer purpose or you want to use for the enterprise grade. So definitely for evaluation I would always prefer to create a developer type, and then here they'll provide the basic configuration, that number of connection you can make, the storage limit which you can have, and the price limit. It is only applicable for the one developer, you cannot have more. And then you can select the service provider which you can use. In my case I am much favorable with Google Cloud, so I actually selected the Google Cloud. And so they are saying I already exhausted, so I cannot create any further. So let's understand. Here you can select the reason. So based on the cloud service provider on a map, you will be able to see that which all location the particular service provider is having the data center. So based on your preference, just to avoid the latency, you can select the best nearest data center. So in my case, the Mumbai is the nearest data center which I can use for creating my instance. And second, you can select the broker version. In case you are very specific to some version, then you can select, otherwise always suggested to have the latest one. You can define the service name through which you can identify the cluster, and in case you want to create a VPN with that, definitely you can create, otherwise inside your cluster you can create a VPN. Now let's understand what all things are available under the cluster. So this service I created, developer class, it is under the running state. So there are few things. First is the status I am able to see, and on its status I am able to see a lot of information like how many consumers or publishers are using the connection based on their protocol type like AMQP or MQTT, SMF, REST or web. And similarly on guaranteed message delivery perspective, how many queues are created, how many topics are created, number of messages which are queued. So currently it is 3. What is the overall pool size, current service state, it is working, broker version, high availability. So in case you are planning to use the enterprise level version, then definitely you will be having a primary and high availability, and as well as the DR. So you can define all those things on a paid version, but with free, definitely that is the only thing. And you can also get information like which would be the DMR, disaster management recovery cluster. So in case the primary node goes down, then what would be the next node which you need to connect to maintain the service continuity, and other information like host, endpoint, cluster name, kind of auth, currently it is basic, management password, and other information you can visit. So I actually already created the VPN, and my VPN name is TechCody. Upgrades and other things, these are not applicable in our case. Moving to next, these are the list of different protocol and based on this libraries. So for Solace messaging, mostly you will be able to get JMS based integration. So for that you can actually visit, and based on your preference you can generate the code. So in our case we would actually be using either MQTT. Even in case of MQTT we have not there is no library mentioned for Golang. So generally MQTT type of integration is done to cater the IoT requirements, and these are the credentials to integrate with this instance, I would say. And in our case, in our example, we will be using the REST based integration. So for that, this is the endpoint, this is the username, and this is the password which we can use. Coming here we will be able to see, we can say, manage our VPN cluster. Like authentication, we can enable certificate, how many profiles are created, how many VPNs we have created, clients, queues, access control, bridge. So we will keep this whole video very simple, so that we can simply see that how we can create the queue, topic, and accordingly how we can do the integration. So moving back to monitor, currently we don't have any insight. On the configuration side, this is the configuration which is available. Try Me is actually they have provided a UI through which you can connect, you can publish the message. Sometimes you actually need to check your connectivity or whatever the configuration you have done. So what we would be doing is we'll be going inside the VPN, and so inside the VPN you will get these kind of stats, that current status, replication, DMR, number of subscription, and the rest of the things, along with some other basic kind of information. So we'll be directly moving to the queue side. So in again in Solace also we will be getting two type of things. One is the topic, and second would be the queue. So queue is actually kind of providing persistent layer which will be storing the messages, and topic would be just kind of endpoint which would be helping to route the message and publish into multiple queues. So say for instance, here we'll be starting with a very basic thing, that we'll be creating a queue. So we'll be creating a queue named TechCoding UT underscore. We'll keep the suffix as queue just to identify that this is my queue and this is my topic. So my queue is created. These are the some of the information, or I would say configuration, you can define that whether this queue will support incoming and outgoing both, or just the incoming part, exclusive, non-exclusive. And definitely the best part is that you can click on this information and you can easily identify that what this option is means, and the option which are available, what does they say. So here it is mentioned that access type for delivering message to consumer flow, exclusive, non-exclusive. So in case of exclusive, what they would be doing is that they would be consuming, or they would be if there are multiple consumer attached to the queue, then if one consumer consume the message, then it's done. In case of non-exclusive, then all the number of consumers who are available, the message will be kind of distributed on a round robin basis. That is, first message will be published on the first consumer, second message to second, third message to third, just to make sure, just to keep the kind of load balancing. Then what is the overall quota you want to define for this particular queue, and then owner, who would be the owner of this queue, non-owner permission, that is whether you want to keep this as a not accessible, read only, consume, modify topic, etc. So here we'll be keeping it as default owner, and from this queue we'll be consuming the message, so we have put it as a consumer, which means that we'll allow the consumer to read and remove the message. So once this is done, we'll click on apply button so that required configuration can be saved. So here my queue has been created. The very next thing which we would be doing is we'll be creating a topic. So to create the topic, we'll be putting the tech code YT, that is YouTube, just for reference, and at the end we'll be putting as topic. With topic also we'll be getting a similar kind of configuration, so we'll keep it default only, and we can modify and click on save. So this is done. Now the next thing which we actually need to do is we need to integrate this topic with the queue, which means whatever the messages will be published on the topic, it will be routed to the connected queue. So to do this kind of integration, what we would be doing is we will be going inside the queue. So we are inside the queue, and then we'll go on a subscription section. Here we'll be adding the subscription. So we'll be adding the topic name which we have actually created. So now it is integrated, and what we can do is we can do the very small testing with the help of try me option. So this is my queue. Currently the number of messages mentioned in this queue is 0. So what we would do is we'll go to try me, and then in try me what we would do is take code and we'll connect with the topic, and we'll be publishing the hello world. So first we'll connect with the VPN. Okay, so it is saying that you need to provide the client username and password. So directly let's go to the home section, and here let's directly establish the connection. You can see this complete information connected. Now the topic name we can mention here, and what we would do is we can use any option binary or text, and we will publish the message. Okay, so on click 3 messages has been published. So the number of time you will click on the publish button, it will keep on publishing the message, and it will keep increasing the count also. And now let's go to the queue and see that how many messages we have got in the queue. So here currently let's do a refresh. So initially it was showing 0, now the number has been increased to 5, and we can see from the messages here that these are the list of messages which are published in this queue. So friends, the queue and the topic which we have created, it is being tested successfully. Now the next thing which we would be doing is we'll be kind of publishing the same message, because we are using the REST endpoint. So we'll publish the message from the postman basically. So for that what you can do is we can again go to this section, within the message queue. Configuration monitoring connection. So we actually came on the central console, and we'll go on the REST based integration. So we have got this endpoint and we can copy that. What we would do is we'll go to the Postman. Here we'll select the post method. We'll copy paste the code and then / we'll put the topic name. So here our topic name is TechCode YT topic. So we'll paste the topic name, and then on the auth side we'll be selecting the basic auth. We'll be providing the username and password, which is mentioned on the here, that this is the username and this is the password. And next what we would do is we will publish a message, which means we'll be putting some text on the hello Solace, and then we'll be publishing it. And now we have got 200, which means our message has been published successfully. Now let's go to console and check that whether we have got the message or not. So we'll again go to inside the queue, and in the queue section, so yes, we have got this message at 12:58:43. So yes, we are getting the number of messages. In case you want, we can again try and whether to see whether the number is increasing or not. So again we have published the message. So initially it was 6. Now message count has been increased to 7. So friends, till now what we have done is we have created the account on Solace PubSub. Next we did is we created the service, which means a kind of cluster on the Solace cloud itself. The very next thing which we did is we created the VPN under the cluster. VPN is kind of creating a virtual space to cater the specific application. We can have multiple VPNs, but just for maintenance purpose, it is always recommended to have a single VPN if you are using for a single application. And then gradually, in case you are having multiple application where you are using the Solace, then you can create multiple VPN, and each VPN will belong to a specific application. And then after that, we actually created the queue and then topic. And next we did is we integrated or subscribed the topic with the queue, so that whatever the message will be publishing on the topic, it should ideally be flowed to queue, which is kind of creating a persistent layer where the message will be stored until and unless it is not being consumed by the consumer. And the very next thing what we can do is we can publish a single message on the topic, and we can integrate topic with multiple queues, so that on a single publisher, in case we publish single message on one topic, then if 3 or 2 queues are integrated with that topic, then all 2 queues would be getting the message. So that is actually help in case you have multiple application who is actually consuming the same message, same source system, kind of. So if you see here, here we actually have subscribed the TechCode. Now let's do one thing. Let's first clean this messages. Messages. Action. Delete. So this queue is clean. Now let's go and clean the second queue also. Message queued. Select all. Action. Delete messages. So if you see on both the queues, the total number of messages which we have is 0, and with tech Cody queue we have subscribed to this topic, which means that whatever the message will be publishing on this topic, the message will be coming in this queue also. Now let's check that. So again we'll come to our Postman, and then we'll be publishing one message. The message has been successfully published. Now we'll come here and we'll do a refresh. Now if you see in both the queue, we are able to see one message which is published just now. So which means that our integration is working absolutely fine. And what next we need to do is we need to write a publisher. So friends, in my last video also I explained a very interesting and quick way of generating a code for Golang to call or to create a REST API integration. So what we would do is we already provided every information. We'll go on a right side, and these are the list of application for which you can generate the code. For us, Go would be the right choice. And then what we would do is we'll copy the whole code. The very next thing which we would be doing is we'll be opening the VS Code. So friends, I already created a directory for Solace Publisher, and we'll just paste the code which we got from there. We have got the URL, we have got the endpoint. So currently we have our payload is kind of static, and in the under the header section we have added the authentication details as well. And what we would do is we'll just run this code and see that whether my code is publishing the message in Solace Cloud or not. So we'll go to directory and then go run main dot. So friends, the message has been published successfully. So here initially the number of messages are 1. Now let's do a refresh, and now the number of messages has increased to 2, which means we have got the message in Solace Cloud. And as per the integration, it is working as expected, because in both the queues we are able to see the increase in message count. So friends, this is how we can do the integration, or we can write the publisher for the Solace PubSub. And I would say that this is one of the very good tool which is being used by famous banks and other financial institution, because the kind of encryption Solace providing is outstanding. The kind of TPS or the kind of performance it can provide, it is not comparable with any of the application. So you can try this thing, and definitely you can use Solace for your application. And in case you feel, or in case you want something to be covered in more detail, like designing part or any other thing, then please put it on a comment section so that I can come up with more information on this specific topic. So friends, if you like my video, then please click on the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.